are now tuned to BS3 Network.
Welcome back to the forecast. It is the 3cast again tonight. Doc is out on business, out of town on business, doing his thing. So he will not be on tonight. We should get him back probably in the next couple weeks or so. But we are back again with another great episode. OJ Made in America Part 3. So it's a 5-part series. We're going to do each part in its own episode. That's a lot of content in there. So that's the best way to go about it. But for me personally, I love these series similar to A-Trap because you're actually able to get through everything and they dive into the details. They don't rush most times. And I think the director did a great job at this. Thank you for all those tuning in. We're live right now on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. We're also live on BS3 TV on Roku. So make sure to download that app. Download the app if you have a Roku TV or device. Would love for you to download it. It's free. Has all types of content on there, something on there for everybody. This show, we got a couple of cooking shows. We even have educational topics. I mean, we really talk about everything. So come on there and check it out. Also, we're live on the End of the Bench Media, and that's on Twitter and on YouTube. So make sure to check
Twitter,
out.
on YouTube, it's on Fanbase, it's on Twitch,
everywhere. Everywhere. So definitely make sure to check out my man, and we'll get into what he's talking about tomorrow later on in the show. All right, let's get to the chat real quick. Knox put in a comment at 7:30. Man, he was early.
Ready. Yeah, he in there. Appreciate it.
So appreciate Anthony. That, Anthony. And yes, in the events, thanks for the support. Hit the like and the share. Definitely do that on all the platforms that we're on right now.
That in the bench,
also those commenting after the show. We appreciate the post-show comments as well. Those go hand in hand. If you can't watch it live, that's fine. It's a podcast. In the words of A-Trap, you can find it. You can watch it anywhere, anytime, no matter where you are, 24/7, 365. So, but part 3. So this really, as we kind of give our thoughts on the overall part 3, this really dived into the murder and what happened, who was involved. They started to get into the case, the different attorneys that were involved. They started to have the pieces, the main pieces that were involved in this. And this is where it kind of really dived into how did it happen, allegedly, how did they think it happened, the chase and all of that. And this was just a crazy time in LA at this particular time with everything going on, which they talked about Rodney King, they talked about different things that led up to this. And then you have OJ at the center of what's going on. So I felt like this was kind of that center point, right there in the middle. And this is when it kind of really turns to another stage of this. But A-Trap, initial thoughts on part 3.
This was the greatest lie ever told. That's one of my initial thoughts. So this is the greatest lie ever told. We're looking at a situation to where as people have made their minds up, they're looking for, this is people looking for a person to blame. And they picked the person to blame. And they took their blinders off. They put their blinders on. And this shows you that people have selective humanity. And that's it all. And all I'm going to say for now.
Yeah. All right. Wilkes.
I felt like the lines are drawn in this episode. We have, like you said, or like they said in this one, where it turned from a slow speed or high speed chase into pretty much a like a presidential
Motorcade.
blockade, if you will, we're escorting.
Right.
So I think lines were drawn by fans. They didn't expect people to crowd the highway and the overpass and rush into Brentwood and Rockwell and go into the neighborhood. I think, people were like, oh, we love OJ. This is OJ. And I think OJ at the moment didn't understand. But once again, he set out to do what he wanted to do, which was, I want to make something bigger than who I am. It's like the Kennedys with Camelot. Camelot is always going to be the Kennedy. Significant place of residency. So I think OJ definitely did that. And even with the case, the prosecution drew their lines in the sand. The defendants drew their line. The fans, the jury, I think everybody just took sides as far as how can we look at this from different angles. I don't want to jump to any kind of prejudgment just yet. So yeah, I felt like this was one of the lines drawn kind of episode. I felt like sides were being taken and footholds were being established, if you will. So.
Yeah. Well, let me give a shout out to Big Mo. He said, fellas, we appreciate you for tuning in. He said OJ was reading the Bible and feeding the homeless when that girl died. And during the trial. I mean, and this is the thing. We have to realize that this was a trial. Yeah. You are going to find the best way to position yourself to win the trial. Like Herman Edwards, you play to win the game. You're not playing to be even or to not have an advantage. And to have Johnny Cochran, which they got into that was kind of towards the end. Like he knew how to how to present it, how to say it, and then I'm fast forwarding, how we do. But when they go into the house and they're like, "Yeah, we had to take some of them photos down. We put all the black photos up." I mean, it's chess.
I had to take down that white Jesus and put up a black Jesus.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's chess. Like you and for this is when they introduced Marsha Clark, and she's getting sensitive. Like, well, that's not fair. It's not supposed to be fair. Like this
she's not being fair either. So what are you talking about?
Right. Shout out to Letitia Porter. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you for coming through. Like the Abby photo. Very stoic.
Got the little swoop. I love it.
Yeah. Big Illy in the building. What's going on? Appreciate you for tuning in. Appreciate the support wherever you guys are tuning in at. We appreciate that. Drop a comment. Let us know how you feel about this series if you've watched it. It came out in 2016. We all know, what happened, but this really dives into, a lot of intricate details. So it kind of opens up with Mark Furman, which what's your thoughts on him? He comes on and he's the detective. He's got a bad background, even suing the pension, LAPD pension department.
This guy.
Yeah, Wilkes.
Yeah, I felt like as far as we know, he could have been planted by somebody, but I don't know. He was already kind of uptight and looking for, hey, how can I gain some kind of recognition and move up in the ranks?
Yeah.
I mean, even with watching him like in the interviews, he still just would not let that attitude go, man. It was just like, stop.
I feel like some people just won't change, and he didn't. Like, they made it seem, and he made it seem like, well, I'm different now. Right? Like, no, you're the same dude.
No, you're not. You're the same. Yeah, exactly.
You're just in a different position. You're not any different than what you were. Exactly. And he made it seem like he had a clean slate, and I'm not like that anymore, and I don't use that word anymore, and all that kind of stuff.
Excuse me, Mister. It is what it is. Man, stop, man.
Exactly.
Cut it out.
Exactly. A-Trap.
I mean, Mark Furman is a typical police officer. We're talking about people who the organization itself was created to basically corral black people. They were slave catchers.
Yeah.
These people are designed, they're built and designed. When you look at the history of the Los Angeles Police Department, they were recruiting police officers from the state of Alabama. When you're recruiting police officers from places like Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, and so forth and so on, you already know that these people are coming in with a specific mind state: corral these people, oppress these people. And he fit right into it. Dale Gates, preceded by Willie Williams. These people are, it is a culture of hate towards people who don't look like them. This sets forth the difference in a person of European descent, whether it be Polish, French, English, so forth and so on, and a white person. You're only white in America. When you leave the United States of America, people identify by their background, their cultural background. These people are white people. White people are trained to hate people, and so forth and so on. This is the problem. He is the dictionary definition of the problem of police in the United States of America today.
Yeah, yeah, and it's an arrogance. It's a not. I mean, and a lot of those officers early on in episode 1 and kind of 2, like, no racism happened. None of that happened. You know, we were all great cops, and like, you don't know that. You don't know what is going through somebody's mind. You don't know how they decide that they want to treat somebody. You don't know what their intentions are. You don't know that. I feel like they were just grouping everybody in, like, yeah, we're all good. And obviously the answer was no to that.
Right.
Did y'all catch the series John Singleton did on FX? Is that the one with Cuba Gooding Jr.? Yeah, man. That one was hilarious.
I only watched some of it.
No, Juice. Don't do it, Juice.
Yeah. David Swimmer.
Yeah, man. That was hilarious.
Yeah. I feel like I need to rewatch that one, but maybe I don't.
Nah. You can put that on while you sleep.
Yeah, you probably doze off.
Big Mo says, caught this one when it came out. I think the doc and miniseries released at the same time. I think it was around that same time. I agree with you.
Yeah, because even Sarah Paulson, I think she won a Golden Globe for playing Marsha Clark.
Yeah. Yeah. And Buddy thought he was LA Confidential. Are you talking about Mark Furman?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, we got a viewer back again, Pussycat. Thank you for tuning in. Said hi.
Welcome back.
Appreciate you coming through. Appreciate the comments and thoughts and all that. All right. So, they get into finding the glove, Kato, Caitlin. So all the characters, this was like this was a like motion picture with all the characters involved. You rewind back, you remember these people, the judge, Mark Furman, the Chris Darden, which they get into him. And then it came to the point where OJ was arrested and then released. And so kind of the way the whole thing worked out is that he ended up going down there, and they told him, what happened. They gave their thoughts on it, and they talked.
Right.
And the DA was like, why did you let him go? And he was like, you can't go anywhere. He's OJ.
Yeah.
And he wasn't under arrest.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly.
Right. Big Illinois right here. Anthony, I'm an Aquarius. I'm a Cancer. My name is Larry.
Yes.
Let me tell you what I can do. Blue Streak in the building. Thank you for tuning in. The average says 5 days left. There's 5 days left to
countdown.
What?
That countdown
Story. It's a story involved there. Let us know what the
birthday
is.
Birthday.
Okay.
Oh, birthday countdown.
Cool. Yeah, so he ends up going down there. They end up releasing them there. Like you said, they're building the case, and it was immediately. And this is the problem, I think, with true crime. I think has caused this, and I think just assuming that the person that you're married to is the suspect, and that's not always the case. But that's what they immediately go to. If you watch any Dateline episode, it don't matter what it is, immediately when you're watching it, you're like, yeah, it's got to be the husband. Who else would it be? He was there, he lived there, and then come to find out it was just some dude in the neighborhood that
some random cat.
Right. So I think that a lot of this true crime stuff, I think, has affected the way we for us to think differently. And I don't know if y'all agree with that, A-Trap.
No,
Go ahead, Ben. Go ahead. Whoops.
No, I was to say kind of right after what Ben was saying. Absolutely, it does. I mean, here we are. We have somebody. First of all, like I said, OJ was trying to create something bigger than him physically. Now you have a defendant, a police officer. Like, why do you think you're one of us anyway? Who do you think you are with this fame, with this recognition? So, yes, anytime he slips up, they're ready to pin him. If he coughs wrong, they're ready to pin it on him. So, yeah, absolutely. I think true crimes, I think, we see those different 48 hours, or we see those shows and it's like, oh, yeah, it was the wife. Oh, it was the husband. It was the husband. Oh, it was the husband. Oh, the husband killed it immediately. Yeah. So yeah, I think it does play a bearing. I think it does have a bearing on how we watch this and look at any case after. I think any major case after the Menendez brothers and definitely OJ, everything is seen differently.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think that's. Personally, I don't have a problem with that. The reason I have a problem with is this. This case and those cases, the Menendez brothers, Joan Monet Barry, and all the cases throughout history, are crimes of physical crimes, violence towards people are crimes of proximity. People who are close to you are traditionally the only people that can hurt you because you don't allow strangers in close quarters.
Right.
So I don't have a problem with them going after OJ because we've seen it time and time again. What's his name? Scott Peterson killed 5 of his wives. We knew who it was. So I don't have a problem with that. My issue with this is this and only this. You made OJ the prime suspect. You checked with OJ, but at the end of the day, even to this day, they're continuing. They put this lie on continuum. They haven't deviated from the plan at all. When you look at this situation, I'm gonna do a little brief synopsis, then I'm back up. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna look at the OJ case. You got 2 people being murdered, one of them being decapitated. You want me to believe this is a crime of passion. Most crimes of passion, you end up getting shot or stabbed once or twice, or you get beat to death. This woman was decapitated. She was stabbed several times and decapitated. You got another guy who was stabbed 26 times with defense wounds on his hands. That means he struck somebody. That means he put up a solid fight to defend his life. And then you have a person, OJ Simpson, who had a cut on this finger.
Yeah.
Everybody loves to say, well, the conversation is, well, he had on the gloves. He stopped taking his blood pressure medication. That's why the gloves didn't fit. Well, why didn't y'all show us the cut in the glove that was right there for his hand? Here we are, almost 30 years later. Nobody's ever shown me the glove with the cut in it. So you can say, see, he had to do it. So this is what lets you know what happened was you were fixated on this black dude who infiltrated your world and could potentially have violated one of your queens, which one of the things I'm going to talk about tomorrow on my program. This is why I have issue with this. And the sad part is black folks, my man Ship and other black folks throughout the world, we are the loudest and we are the most, we've beaten the drum the hardest on OJ did it. This is sad and a situation to whereas we consistently look bad when we are presented with facts. We're going to go along with the narrative versus the facts. No facts, just feelings.
Here's the funny thing, and to A-Trap's point, just to kind of piggyback off that, if Marsha Clark was so about the DNA, I haven't heard once anything about OJ's, this was his blood on the glove. This is whose blood was on the Bronco. I haven't heard one time about the DNA. She's all about DNA, but nobody has said or brought up DNA about this. So what do you have? Whose blood was it?
Yeah.
Where did you get it from?
There's no way that one man who was 46 at that time,
46-year-old man,
can
46.
kill 2 people. So I think it would be ignorant to say he wasn't involved at all. I don't think we can say that. But there's no way he would have did it on his own. There's no way.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm ignorant then.
Seriously, man. Here's the one thing I've always heard about this case, and H-Rap, Ben, y'all can correct me. I've always heard that the cut that she had was almost surgical from ear to ear.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You have time to cut somebody like that while you have another, unless you kill Ronald Goldman. If you're killing Ronald Goldman, she's got time to run or do something.
Yeah.
But wait a minute. Then if I'm
logically, it don't
literally
make sense.
surgically cutting her from ear to ear, Ronald Goldman's got time to leave. Then what's happening here?
Yeah.
Nothing's making sense.
Yeah. And when I'm saying involved,
I know.
paid, something to that degree, but not actually being there because, and he was older. He was a former athlete. We see, Calvin Johnson. We see these guys, Earl Campbell, how they move around. Yeah. How they move around now. It wasn't like he was running track, like he was just running it out of the way. I mean, you got to be realistic, and it just wasn't. Yeah. So let me real quick. Blue Streak said big 60. Man, congratulations! That is coming up.
Man,
we counting down with you. Counting down with you, Chris Chrisman. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate the support, the likes, and the shares on the page and everything. We appreciate that. So yeah, and it was definitely OJ from the beginning, but also you started to see how, and one of the people mentioned this, we are forgiving as a people, and people had their own issues with OJ, but then when it came to the point where he was on the run, when it came to the point where you were going to put your support at, the support was on OJ. I don't know how many people. I was too young at that time to really know, what percentage or how many people were here or there, but people were watching to see him not go to jail and to see him get released and to get off.
I mean, see, here's the thing, man. Let's just back him out. Like you said, you may think he may have played a role in it. Me and Mo was talking about this the other day. Let's just go from a human psychological perspective. People don't go from mildly abusing directly to decapitation. There's a buildup. Now, if we would have heard about Nicole getting bruises, like she got slapped up, we seen her slapped up. We seen the bruises on the arms and things of that nature. And then after that, it went from the very last episode. You got OJ Simpson in the background with her on the phone with the police, yelling and screaming at her, saying, "How could you be in here giving this dude fellatio while my kids are in the other room?" I mean, I'm no psychologist. I only took a couple of psych classes when I was on my way to my degree work. But I don't know how you go from, and then the boyfriend said after yelling at her, he turned to him, took it all the way back down and said, "Hey man, my bad," and walked out the door. If you were angry enough to be yelling and screaming at her, it seems just to me that you would have gone and hurt her that day. That's the day. Yeah. Because if you kicked in her door and then yelled at her and screamed at her and treated her like a child, that would be the day that you go over the top. You don't wait 2 weeks later and then, okay, this is what they want us to believe. They want us to believe OJ Simpson went home, saw her in the midst of sexual activity, went back to his house at Rockingham, put on a jogging suit, a sweat, a whole jogging suit, ski mask, went and got a serrated knife, went back to this place, cut her head off. Oh, by the way, while I put on this jogging suit, I go put my $500 loafers on instead of some gym shoes.
Yeah. And I wear one glove.
Then fly to Chicago.
Yeah.
And then come back.
And like Michael Jackson, I wear one glove over there.
No, he had on 2 gloves because he dropped one at her house and then dropped another one at his house. And then you bust in your house with Kato Kaelin in there, your man toy, and then you run in the house. You have so much blood on you that it's in your socks. But there are no footprints because I've seen it, dog. I was immersed in this. There are no footprints leading up to the socks. So they want us to believe OJ ran in the crib, walked on his hands, kicked off his socks. They landed in the middle of this rug. He went home. Oh, by the way, they didn't find any blood in his drain system. And that's what we come on, man. See, it's facts over feelings at this point, man. And that's why I say, man, initially I was like, man, I don't think he did it. The more I watch this, I know he didn't do it. I know he didn't do it. And then when you listen to him while being followed by this helicopter, being talked to SWAT, he's not speaking as a guilty man. He's speaking as a man who sounds defeated. I've done all of this to build up this OJ legacy, and now it's done. I don't even want to live no more, man. I ain't gonna be the juice no more.
Yeah.
That's why I say no. OJ that had nothing to do with this, man.
Yeah, and I think, if you get to a point to where, and it becomes a crime of passion, or you get to a point to where you feel like there's no getting this person back. The people say, like, if I can't have you, nobody can have you. Now, you never said that, but I do think people can get to that point. Again, I don't think he physically did anything because it didn't want to make any sense. But he could have been like, "Hey, I need you to take care of this." But I mean, to go to cut somebody like that, man, that is like.
That's what I'm saying. I've always heard that it was like a surgical,
she had to wear like a turtleneck type dress in her casket because of how bad it was.
You got time? I mean, I get it. Yeah, knives are sharp, but damn, you got time from ear to ear?
That's almost like assassin, like
right. That's what I'm saying. Hitman shit. Like what?
Yeah.
No.
Now,
if you go hit somebody in the neck, it's just a quick shoot.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Come on.
So I mean,
by the way, he walked away without a bruise.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm a big dude, man. I would argue that I can't go get 265, 70-year-old ladies and jump them tonight.
Right.
And not get a scratch.
Something.
Right.
But once into H-Rap's point, once again, Marsha Clark is all about DNA. Not once.
That was her initial argument. Yeah.
I didn't hear it. Whose blood is on the driver's side of the Bronco? What's going on?
And they immediately, the detectives immediately said it was his, but they didn't have any time. This not 2000.
Right.
This is not 2024.
No,
and probably even today it still takes time.
They found this blood in the truck, but they also found the stuff that's in the tubes to preserve the blood. So that was mixed in with the blood. So you mean to tell me OJ is bleeding out the solvent that y'all use to preserve blood in tubes?
Yeah.
Come on, man. It's not adding up.
And like H-Rap said, somebody's gonna be fighting back a little bit.
Hey, Al, what's up, Al? Hey, we need to get you on either next week or the last episode.
Yeah, the last episode. Man, you got to close it out. Man. We got to get
let me
him
know.
in here.
Let me know. Yeah, let me know if you're free.
He suggested
the next 2 Mondays. We love to get you on to
close
talk
it out
about
right.
it. Now, I think that there was a narrative that was going around, and obviously, we'll never know. But his son was the one that committed the murders. Now, I felt like an interesting part of this is when he drives into the driveway, and he's almost fighting AC.
Yeah.
Or you couldn't really tell what they were saying. They didn't know who it was at first. But I definitely wanted to talk about that because that was kind of an interesting point. Because obviously, if you're mad, if you're frustrated, or you're trying to get your dad, I'm thinking he was trying to get his dad out of there. Like, look, this is, you don't have to do it this way. But he was about to fight. He was swinging on AC.
Oh, he was ready. Yeah, he was ready.
So I don't know if he knew. So I don't know. This is a very kind of gray area with that moment because there wasn't any microphones. You don't know what they were saying. Right. But give me guys' thoughts on that.
What?
Yeah, like I said, for me, this being my first time watching this and getting a different, perspective, because you're not going to get that from NBC, ABC, whatever. I mean, first of all, it was just like, man, what are you doing? You're not helping my dad. You're just sitting in the Bronco. Get him out of there. Get the gun out of there. I was like, you're not trying to talk him off the ledge. And when I saw that, I was just thinking, damn, I mean, they were talking about dropping him as soon as he got out of the Bronco.
Yeah. So
his son is kind of like, okay, look, Dad, they gonna drop you. They already know black man, Rodney King, riots, he violent, he's known to beat somebody.
He's
Who knows
suicidal.
what he's gonna try to be, like the guy said. I don't know if he's gonna be violent to the police officers, if he's gonna try to shoot AC, if he like stop, man, calm down. So to see his son out there kind of advocating for him, like, hey, AC, look, let me take it from here. I'm his son. How dare you keep me from getting close to my dad? Let me get him out of this situation. Because if I don't, they ready to kill him.
Yeah.
And then and plaster him like a mortar and a wife beater. So it was different for me because I had never seen that. I don't think what we have here in Dallas, Texas, or ABC locally, I never saw that on prime time or nightly news. I never saw that angle of it. Mm-hmm. So even CNN at the time, I've never seen those footages until now. And like I said, this is all like, the trial took place in '95. I'm a freshman in high school. But to see this angle and this, how they got these footages from the helicopter and overhead, it was interesting to see that. So it gives another layer of how all of this played out.
Yeah, and it seemed like he was frustrated more.
Right.
He was like, you supposed to be his best friend, and you just driving him around with a gun.
Why are you not trying to talk him off the ledge? Yeah.
Hey, Trump.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going on exactly what Will said. Look, man, there's my pops. I'm running out there trying to talk my pops off the ledge too.
Right.
I mean, again, man, this is a dude who they repeatedly said this dude was drunk with fame. He was intoxicated with the fact of being OJ. It wasn't about anything else. I want to be OJ. So if I can't be OJ, I don't want to live.
Right.
It's not sound like the mentality of a person who just destroys somebody.
Yeah.
Right.
He's more concerned of his image, of his brand.
Exactly.
That's why I said, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and to murder somebody or murder two people and then just go to Chicago like nothing ever happened. That's a different level of like sinister that I don't think he had. I think he was he was selfish. I think he loved himself. He loved the fame and all that, but that's a whole nother level of not caring at all about human life. Yeah.
He was atypical American celebrity. Narcissistic jerk who was all about me. That's what y'all kept saying. People who think that much of themselves, they ain't trying to do nothing to ruin that.
And they were praising, hey, USC, the house that OJ built, they were praising him at USC. I mean, it was one of those things where it was just like he wanted to separate himself, but he knew he had to build a brand to do that. I just can't imagine. He knows what happens if he throws that away because he's got nothing. Even one of the detectives were saying it. They started talking about him as an athlete. I guess the SWAT guy that had the snipers in different positions. He was like, once they started talking about who he was and noticed that all his pictures, he had pictures in the house that no kids, no wives. They were all of him in his. Man, come on, man.
And then this dude was he was a serial cheater. You don't kill your old lady because you're a serial cheater. You got the Nino Brown. I just buy another one.
Yeah, man, he's a narcissist.
It's gonna work that way, man.
Yeah. Let me get to the comments here. Emma says, I still think the murders were a hit. Those two owed money for drugs.
Yeah.
Everyone hell bent on OJ being jealous. I don't think he would kill her over that they were already separated. He was framed. And I think jealousy can take you to a point. And we just don't know to what point was he at. But that would be that would be a lot for anybody to do if you just didn't care about people. Or you had no tie to the people. Yeah, you would slit somebody's throat in a minute.
Look at it this way. Again, going back to the previous episode, OJ Simpson was cheating on this woman like 40 going north. A bunch of men cheat on their women I beat their women after they cheat. I don't think I'm stupid enough to believe that's not possible. But he was cheating on this woman like 40 going north. He was doing everything to make it all about him. But you mean to tell me you watch me sleep with a man? My homeboy slept with you. I came in on another dude you messing with. I've seen this dude parade again. That's what they left out. I'm old enough to remember. They used to say Goldman used to parade around in his Ferrari. Remember, Chris Rock even cracked a joke about it.
You saying OJ's Ferrari?
Yeah. If you remember, Chris Rock had that this sketch or bit. That's what they call it, a bit. He was like, "Look, I ain't saying it was okay, but I understand. Dude riding around in your Ferrari, your homeboy Marcus out of smashing her. You done caught this other millionaire dude smashing her. The young boy back again. You have literally been caught on a 911 call yelling at her about intercourse in the house with your children there. But this day was the last straw. Come on, son.
Yeah.
No.
Like, stop.
No.
What's up? What's up, D Great in the building? Thank you for tuning in. He may knew what happened, but to protect his kids and mother, they can never tell what really happened.
Oh, absolutely. I think so. I can believe that.
That main detective was involved in the frame up, recruited up by the big guys. Yeah, Furman was definitely, he was involved. We need to take down OJ. And he wasn't one of those people, because, there was the group of cops that would bring him over there, and, they would have beers with OJ and all that stuff. I don't think Furman was one of them. They didn't say if he was or wasn't, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't one of them that was going over there. And more of like OJ's house was the hangout spot.
Right.
And then that dude Chip was a sucker too, man. You didn't want to testify for or against OJ, but then you saw the pictures, and now you want to testify against him.
This guy.
You know what, dog? I don't care who you are, man.
Right.
You out here killing women.
Stopping by the house, hanging out.
I'm snitching on you, dog.
Right.
I'm snitching on you, son.
Yeah.
Chip. Yeah. This is the same guy that. Shouldn't you be working, not taking me to OJ house to hang out? Come on, man, stop.
And I think another deeper issue of this is, I think AC, they had a great relationship. I think he was in love with OJ, because for this dude to go this far, and even his friend told a story where like they had a BB gun or something that they brought to school, and AC was like, "No, you gotta shoot me first before you shoot OJ."
Yeah.
I think that obviously during that time, that wasn't like being gay wasn't something that you definitely came out with and you ran with it, especially if you was in love with OJ. Right. So I don't know. Y'all think that's too far fetched or what?
No, it ain't too far fetched, man. I mean, they always said that Juice had an issue with his dad being homosexual.
Right.
So, but I mean, look, man, at the end of the day, look, OJ took him from the hood to Hollywood, Jack.
Right.
Hey, if I was willing to die for this cat in high school, I'm gonna eat this bullet anytime, man. But see, the only thing I didn't like about Ship and Al Cowlings is when you showed up at the memorial service, right? And you stood up and spoke. This is case number one of people in our community always trying to get approval from other cultures. If my homeboy allegedly killed these people, what I'm not gonna do is show up and make all this fuzzy warm, because you're trying to say, hey, I'm still one of the good ones. That's all him and Ship was doing. So that really pissed me off in regards to that.
Yeah, AC was playing both sides. He was. I think he was one of those that definitely wanted to be accepted. You remember they talked about that in episode 1. He was one of those that didn't really know how to talk to girls. He wasn't that popular, and then he got around OJ and became popular. So I mean, man, it's so many different aspects and storylines to this. Exactly. Kato, the house guest, the druggy nanny, knows everything too. And they didn't really, they talked to him, I think, initially, but I don't know if they really tap into that further.
Later on, they do.
All right.
Like how you kill
and no, it's not too far fetched about.
It's not, because why is Kato in his house? Kato is his man boy.
Right. Thank you.
OJ stole AC's girlfriend, then married. That was his first wife.
That was his first wife. AC's girlfriend.
And AC was good with it. And this was when they didn't have money. So it wasn't like it was. But I think also he knew. You got people in your clique. Like this dude got a chance to really make it.
Well, my boyfriend goes. Keep it funky, man. This man might be OJ boyfriend. Man might have been OJ's girlfriend.
Emma says one day I believe the truth will come out. It may be a decade or more, but it will be ours. I don't think it's ever coming out now. I don't know who would
come forward, who would say something. I
think
get it. I mean, I said the same thing first time watching this.
I agree.
I said the same thing. But.
Yeah, it's all effed up. It's not like this is a
no,
either way you go. This isn't a warm. Either way you go, this is not a like a happy ending. This is just not. It's
speaking of OJ's boyfriend, happy endings.
We don't write this stuff, people.
Man.
Look, man, this man played with the Buffalo Bills with OJ, man. All this, but see, that's how we get sidetracked. We talk about they might be Cinnabon homies, I'm telling you, man. It's the thing not adding up to me. I mean, I'm not no true detective. I got a criminal justice degree that I've never used. So, but it just don't add up, man.
Yeah.
To A-Trap's point, I mean, for me, I felt like, and I think I said this to Ben at work, it's like they were immediate locked in. He did it. He did it. Because he slapped her up a little bit. Now all of a sudden, he was in. It's a love killing. He's enraged. He loved. If I can't have you, like A-Trap said, if I can't have you, nobody can have you. Let me kill you. Let me off you. But it's like, damn.
Meanwhile, I'm dating a model.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, damn, that's what you're doing. So
let's not forget that time he was on Wendy Williams' show, and Wendy Williams tried to throw a jab at him, right? She was like, "Yeah, OJ, black don't crack. You looking good. The white girls must love you." He immediately went, "I'm good with the sisters too." That dude just killing you because you broke up with him, man. And he got angry. This is after the murder case. This is after everything went down. She said, "I ain't gonna bring up the other stuff, that thing." Yeah. He's like, "All right, ain't no need to rehash that." And then with the end of the interview, she was like, "Yeah, Juice, blah, 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 blah. The white girls really like." He said, "I'm good with the sisters too." That's not the dude that man is loving him. He loved himself too much to be
right. You can tell. Again, he had pictures in him in his house of himself. Football, acting, college
presidents, politicians, business
friends.
Yeah.
What?
That man,
and also the fact
himself, looking at himself, touching himself.
The fact that he went to the wake, like that's and we've heard of cases where the murderer did come to the wake, but knowing if that was something you did, knowing all the eyes that are going to be on you, knowing all the press is going to be there, and you went there anyway,
right?
Either you stupid or you didn't do nothing,
or you knew I'm OJ.
I'm OJ,
wherever I want.
Yeah.
Cameron, as soon as the wind of me being here, news gonna break, and now it's all about me again. But I gotta go. I can't speak to y'all. I can't say anything.
And then hold it. Let's not avoid the obvious. I'm here to support my children. Their mother just got killed.
Right.
True. Emma said this was someone who had to send a message, not to play with them. Someone powerful. Maybe it's why the truth won't ever be told. Never had enough evidence. Never looked any further than OJ. Yeah, you're right. And I mean, they gravitated to him immediately. And that goes back to
the video I sent you about the hillside strangler.
Nah, I didn't. I need to though.
It's to do. I'll just give you a brief synopsis. In 1990, in 2012, a guy known as the cross country strangler who has killed over 50 people nationwide, who used to know Nicole and work for her, admitted to killing her over some earrings in accordance to him because OJ paid him to do it.
I feel like, is this the same one that they mentioned after OJ died?
Yeah, they've been mentioning it a lot over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's admit to killing. I saw that.
It's in the group chat.
Yeah.
Hey, I can maybe. How long is it?
Like 4 minutes, maybe even less.
Yeah.
Well, you can play it. Play it.
I'll say we can play it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. What's up, Keisha in the building? Appreciate you for tuning in.
Keisha.
Big Red went to the 5 heartbeats. Man, did you feel him? My office hours from 9 to 5.
I want to sign you to my label. I gotta get you my label.
That's a classic movie, man. That is a classic.
That's his name. Shout out to Robert Townsend.
She was hanging around Dodie.
Oh, that was one of her friends.
Holden Faye.
Yeah.
Dick Gregory had the files. He knew OJ didn't do it. Hey, Dick Gregory had a lot of that dude was a wealth of information. So Roger Nelson, that was the strangler.
That's his name. Yeah, pull it up, man.
Let
it roll.
Y'all talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah. I mean, it just this whole situation lets you know, man, that when it's time for you to go down, you'll be knocked down a peg. And this is what it looks like to me with Simpson. Simpson was not I don't believe he was a killer. He was a narcissist. He was egotistical. He thought the world revolved around him. And at the end of the day, why wouldn't he? Does OJ Simpson have one reason not to believe the world doesn't revolve around him? Right. Come on, man.
Because he already knows.
Exactly. That's just like if Juanita Jordan would have showed up there, and Michael Jordan would have been, oh man, no, I'm Michael Jordan. I gotta kill her. I got 14 chicks throughout the country, man.
To A-Trap's point, even when Michael Jordan's father got killed, immediately Michael Jordan was in the news. It was like, why? It just blew up. So it was just like, oh, it's Jordan. It's Jordan's dad. Oh, we got to keep this in the media. We got to keep this in the news. So yeah, OJ's gonna take flight. Possible suspect, murderer. Oh gosh, he gonna blow up again. Now he's blowing up. He's blowing up financially as an actor, as an athlete. Now he's blowing up as a possible suspect. Come on, man.
This dude ain't killed a chick, man.
Man,
like
stop.
I said, man. People always, because of who I am and my stance on a lot of things, people always think I take the black point of view. And that's just not the case, man. It's just not adding up, man. 2 + 2 ain't 72, man. I'm just saying, this does not add up. Yeah. Egotistical people, from my perspective, don't kill people because you don't want to deal with me. What you do is you go get Paula Barbieri. That's who you go get. You go get that chick, that model chick he was running around with. Because standing next to her, Nicole looked like dog food, Jack. And I ain't even into that. You know what I'm saying? But it does not add up. At the end of the day, let's remove all the technical jargon. Let's remove all the DNA. Let's remove all the this and all that. All I want to know, for everybody in the history of the world who assumes that this man destroyed, murdered both those people, I want to know how one person runs up on 2 people, kills both of them, and walks away without a scratch.
Right. Somebody gonna fight back
without a scratch.
Yeah.
Dude, like I said, I'm 53 years old. I'm 5'10", about 265 pounds. I want to know how I want to run up on 2 old ladies tonight with this, with this battered and bruised body from football on a low level.
Right.
And I want to beat up those 2 old ladies and kill them and walk away without a scratch. I just don't see it
not going to happen. Yeah.
By the way, the young man who was murdered was being trained in martial arts. Yeah. I don't know if he was a black belt. I don't know if he was a brown belt. He could have been a white belt. But this is a kid who was being trained in self-defense. They openly said he put up a good fight. You cannot put up a good fight for your life,
right,
without injuring the other party.
Yeah, exactly.
What was he
absolutely.
doing?
A 46-year-old man.
Wasn't Hurley just hitting the air real hard?
Yeah.
Like Ben said, 46-year-old man, he ain't moving. He ain't agile.
No.
He's not
And
moving like that.
And 46-year-old athlete and a regular guy that's 46 is completely different.
Right.
No.
So Emma says, what is the name of the necktie they do when they owed money?
Columbia next time.
Okay.
Oh, classic Columbia.
Yeah.
320. I like
it.
They found a burned up vehicle in the area, could have had blood and evidence. Plus, people saw strange two men in the neighborhood looked to be Italian.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
so I got the video uploaded. Let's get through some comments. I agree it doesn't add up. Emma agrees with you. With bad knees, exactly. With bad knees,
Right.
He wasn't running no more. He wasn't doing those Hertz commercials anymore. He was running.
He got the Burl Campbell.
He was doing power walking commercials.
Right.
He was done. The running days was over.
Yeah, he finished, man. I'm out here getting my. He's done, man.
She said, put a lowercase G on that. You ain't no God.
What?
Paula broke up with him that day.
Yeah.
Broke up with him that day on the phone.
Right. Same shit, kill Paula.
Yeah.
Right.
You break up with me, I'm killing you.
Right. You done.
No, he had his friend Charlie. Charlie did it. You talking about Charlie, the one? I don't know. Was that the dude from his neighborhood? Not him.
Maybe it's to do with the starter pussy.
Maybe.
Starter pussy. Yeah.
He's coming with the jokes.
Wow. Taller than you, that's all I know.
If you cut someone numerous times, they fighting. You have some scars, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Trust me, if you holding me down to try to cut my neck, I'm scratching at skin, gouging eyes, something. Like what?
It's OJ. Oh God, just don't kill me. Knock it off, man.
Right.
Like, hey, Juice, what's going on? Hey, Juice, you cut me. Juice.
I get a picture before I die.
Like I said earlier, all that DNA, and y'all haven't said once, definitely, yeah, it's OJ's.
Oh,
it's
Charlie
OJ.
is the dude in the book OJ wrote. And I appreciate you for tuning in. We appreciate the support. Charlie from the Las Vegas robbery. Okay. Charlie was actually OJ's.
Stole my shit. I'm coming to get it.
Yeah.
OJ's
all right, let's get to this video. It's about 4 minutes. And we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Strange coincidences, a recent meeting, and some outlandish claims. Here's why Glenn Edward Rogers confessed to the murder of Nicole Brown Simpson. In the early morning hours of June 13, 1994, the bodies of 35-year-old Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend, 25-year-old Ronald Goldman, were found lying in pools of blood outside Simpson's Brentwood, California condominium. As reported by Penn Live, both Simpson and Goldman had been stabbed multiple times, and their attacker had fled the scene. In the course of their investigation, authorities learned Nicole was the ex-wife of former football star OJ Simpson. Per AP News, law enforcement officials went to OJ's house at approximately 4:30 a.m. to inform him of Nicole's death. They immediately noticed what appeared to be a bloodstain on OJ's Ford Bronco, as well as a trail of what appeared to be blood leading from the vehicle to the front door of his home. As they were suspicious of OJ's possible involvement in the murders, authorities obtained a search warrant to search the inside of his vehicle and home.
I always said it was the most depressing and sad night of my life.
During the search, law enforcement officials found a bloody glove, which was similar in appearance to a glove found at the murder scene per AP News. They also found more bloodstains inside Simpson's vehicle and home. Simpson was ultimately arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder with special circumstances on June 17, 1994. However, he vehemently denied any involvement. During the trial, prosecutors argued that OJ and Nicole had a notoriously volatile relationship and that OJ was jealous of Nicole's relationship with Goldman. Meanwhile, OJ's defense team argued that he was framed by police officers who had a history of racist behavior. They also argued that the evidence against OJ simply did not prove he was guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. The trial, which lasted 9 months, concluded on October 3, 1995. Jurors determined O.J. Simpson was not guilty in the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman, per Newsweek. Although Simpson and his supporters think the jury made the correct decision, others believe the former football star got away with murder. Over the years, several theories regarding who else might have killed Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman have been suggested. One theory, which was presented in the 2012 documentary My Brother the Serial Killer, suggested that the pair were actually murdered by serial killer Glenn Edward Rogers. In the documentary, Glenn's brother Clay Rogers said, "I'm absolutely certain that my brother killed Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman." Clay also suggested that Glenn had the means and opportunity to kill Nicole and Goldman, as he was working as a house painter in the area when they were murdered. Per ABC News, Glenn reportedly told his brother and sister that he met Nicole and noted that she was wealthy.
They got money, they're well off, and I'm taking her down.
In an interview with a criminal profiler, Glenn allegedly claimed that O.J. Simpson had hired him to steal a pair of earrings and kill his former wife during the robbery. Glenn also provided specific details about the deaths of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman, which further supported his claim that he committed the brutal murders. ABC News reported that in addition to knowing details about the murders, Rogers was able to draw a detailed picture of the knife he claims to have used to kill the victims. According to ABC News, filmmaker David Monahan said he believes the information provided by Glenn's brother. Combined with Glenn's confession to the criminal profiler, Monahan believes that this should have been enough to prompt an official investigation into his possible involvement in the murders. However, Ronald Goldman's father, Fred Goldman, disagrees. When asked about the information presented in the documentary film, Fred said per ABC News, "The fact of the acquittal at the hands of the jury will never wash away this murder from the hands of O.J. Simpson, no matter how many Glenn Rogers pop up on the media radar screen." Glenn Edward Rogers was ultimately arrested 6 weeks after Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman were found murdered. Law enforcement officials said he went on a crime spree and is suspected of more than 70 murders throughout the United States, per ABC News. Rogers was convicted of several murders and subsequently sentenced to death in both California and Florida. However, he was never arrested and indicted in Brown Simpson's and Goldman's deaths, nor was he mentioned as a person of interest in those crimes.
Well, man, he dived deep into that one, man, and
Yeah.
I mean, and I think that standing image was that Time magazine cover with OJ on the cover on that mugshot. I mean, that is a lasting image, like
Absolutely.
like
if anybody
Rodney
got a
King.
copy of that, it's probably worth something.
Yeah. Man, I appreciate that video. A-Trap, that definitely was
Yeah, I mean, it's like I would maybe 2 days after the death, or maybe a week, if that. He's just like, yeah, I admit to the murder. I was like, what?
they don't have to free OJ. He is free now. You're right. I mean, he is arrested.
In the upper room.
Said I'm done.
He's asleep. He resting right now.
Yeah,
Poor Fred Goldman.
Fred Goldman.
Man, that dude,
I thought that was Nicole Brown dad, the way he was going in.
Yeah. The only person they said in Nicole's family, they said it was screaming, it was her sister. They didn't say anything about the dad. And I don't know the dad, the family was on the payroll.
Dad, remember,
But,
Dad
Goldman,
that paper, man. He was like, dang, I gotta get a job.
Fred Goldman, man.
Every time OJ got any type of money or check, man, he was trying to recoup that money. Because I don't think they ever got the money that they in that civil trial.
I ain't getting nothing.
Yeah, I ain't getting anything.
But you know what, man? I ain't mad at Fred Goldman, man. That's how you act when somebody kill your child.
Right.
I ain't mad. I ain't trying to hear nothing nobody's saying. H-Rap, you can go jump in the lake. I don't care. You know, Lake Michigan right over there. Go jump in it, man. That dog could kill my son. I ain't mad at him. You know what? This is another reason I look at this whole situation sideways. Why ain't everybody in the lady family acting like this?
True.
Why is this the only person that's this angry?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and then when they said the police came to the crib, man, I'm going to call the crib and say, hey, your daughter dead. We just found your daughter dead. He said 5-second pause, and then you heard her sister.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. How you know she ain't down the car wreck?
Right. Because you immediately you went to, he killed her. because of the beatings and the misunderstanding, whatever they got going on, whatever it is. Oh, he killed her.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I think too, this is
I'm a kid.
the phrase that everybody says after the person already passed is that she told me that if I ever die or I ever get killed, it was him. And unless it's in written down or in handwriting or in a letter, you're taking hearsay and the person's word for it.
Right.
At the end of the day.
Man, if she got beat to death, I'll be on here saying, yeah, Juice, it's a wrap, bro. Man, ain't nobody stabbing two people, man. What?
Hey,
look,
man.
It's been 28 years. What a knife, what a glove, what a clothes. We got the glove. What a knife for the clothes.
I don't know, man. Yeah, because again, OJ is worried about his reputation, man.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. But
right,
no, I love watching this. It's definitely new for me because, like I said, I knew it came out back then. I don't know why I was, and I think I told Ben, it was like Dear Mama. I was like, oh my gosh, is it another Who Killed Tupac? I don't want to watch another Who Killed Tupac.
Right.
So I'm watching. I see this and it's like, oh God, is it all about the trial? I don't want to hear another thing all about the trial. But I like, even though it's chronological, I can accept it and I see different sides of it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm enjoying watching it for the first time. I love the recommendation. So I know people may have watched it multiple times or seen it before, but for me, this is new and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, appreciate you, Emma, for tuning in. You have a good night as well. Definitely appreciate that. So June, yeah.
Okay.
So June 17, 1994. It was and there's another 30 for 30 on that day. I would highly recommend you go watch that. So the police chase was going on. Also at that same time, Arnold Palmer played in his final round of the 1994 U.S. Open. The commencement of the 1994 FIFA World Cup, hosted by Oprah and then President Bill Clinton. The New York Rangers celebrating their Stanley Cup Finals win. Game 5 of the 1994 NBA Finals, Houston Rockets and Knicks. And then Ken Griffey Jr., tied Babe Ruth's record for most home runs, 30, before June 30th. So, I mean, this was like a wild day. I mean, all of that going on in one day.
It's crazy.
The Ice-T Lemonade dude. Yeah, him. He was a golfer though first.
Wow. Yes, Keisha. Wow.
Wishing everyone peace, prosperity, health, happiness. We appreciate that. Thank you. All right. So they're in the Bronco. AC's on the phone, and then you get the guy talking to him. And this is where, any of that one with Beginning Junior, you got to watch this one. That one scene where Swimmer's like, no, Juice, don't go, Juice. I mean, he said Juice like 400 times. It was, is this a comedy? Or what is this? What are we doing here?
What am I watching here?
Right, exactly. Is this Friends? Is this a bonus?
Right. What is this?
The Friends with an extra black person?
The bonus CD?
With a black person.
It had one towards the end, but I think that was it.
Yeah, because he was dating her. She's a well-known comedian. She was on a TV show 24, and she's actually on Archer. She does the voice of the chick on Archer. I can't think of her name right now, but yeah.
Hey, I ain't saying it again because I don't know. It's hard to come out. Arnold Palmer. Maybe that's what you're talking about. I don't know. I definitely can't say that 10 times fast. I'll just be honest with y'all. But
he should be playing, man. Playing.
I'll definitely check you guys out again. Have a wonderful night. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming through. Appreciate the newcomers in the chat. Yeah, definitely check us out. Make sure to subscribe to Let me see. BS3 Network, Queen 3 and King, The Forecast, and the End of the Bench Media. That's what this is live on right now. So you can definitely check out all of those shows. Oh, she said, I was talking about the juice coming. Oh, yeah, no juice. Juice, don't do it, juice.
The juice is loose.
Shut up. Shut up, please. Somebody turn this off. But yeah, so he ends up writing this letter. Robert Kardashian ends up reading it. And then it's like, yeah, they were supposed to report. And then the LAPD looks dumb again. Man, this did not put them in a good light at all.
No, it didn't. Not at all.
And from the very beginning of how they handled Rodney King to how they handled the riots to now this, it's like you just
And then of course, like you said, OJ had them in his pocket because he's OJ.
It was over for drinks last week.
Yeah, so stop, man. You were just here last night. Now you got snipers in on top of 2 houses. Come on, man, stop.
Yeah,
y'all feel. I mean, just looking at this and how they just talked about. Oh yeah, we had. I mean, that guy was just. You could tell he was just reveling in that. Like he was proud that we might have to take down OJ. We may have to drop it. It's like
if he would have got out of that Bronco with a gun in his hand, he would have been.
Oh, he was done. But you know what that reminded me? You know what that reminded me of? In that moment, it reminded me of the airman that was just killed by the police officer. Because as soon as he knocked on the door and opened that door with that gun, he shot him.
Yeah.
He didn't
the
say
gun was down.
He didn't say drop the gun. Immediately, he shot him. That's exactly what that moment reminded me of when I watched this on this episode. Because they were like, and even the guy said, he's like, as soon as OJ gets out, I know they're gonna drop him. He's got that gun in his hand. They're not gonna ask any questions. They're gonna drop him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you've already labeled him as being, violent and dangerous. That's what you've already labeled him. You're ready to drop him.
Yeah, yeah. And probably one of the funniest comments they said when he was in the car and he was like, "Well, these niggas will come from in Brentwood." That might have been the funniest comment.
That's an OJ tactic, man. That's an OJ tactic. I'm still one of you guys.
Hey, that was the funniest comment, man, on this episode.
Like he was just deluded.
But and I think it almost it startled him because maybe he thought it was going to be mostly. Maybe he thought it was going to be mostly white people out there, but I don't know.
It was a reasonable question, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he don't see him. He ain't jogging looking at niggas, man. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man.
So man, imagine 1994. You got that going on. You got the finals. You got all this stuff going on, and they end up bringing in what was that? Dan Rather or
it was Dan. Dan Rather on one episode on one news channel, but I don't know if they had somebody. But Dan Rather.
But they're basically quarterbacking this whole thing. Like it was basically an event. This would be like probably comparable to if Michael Jordan was on the run. It's basically what this was. And I think they act like they didn't really know how to handle it. They probably never was expecting this to be the outcome.
Right.
And it was wild. That was a wild day. Wild day in America, especially in LA.
94.
Yeah.
That's wild, man.
Yeah. And so, they get to the house and he's there pretty much in the car until it gets dark. And one of the cops says, well, I think he just wanted to wait till it got dark before he got out of the car, which I don't know, maybe legit, man. There's a level of shame that I don't think he ever faced.
Yeah.
In that moment. And you never know how you're gonna react. People say, "Oh, well, why he just didn't turn himself in, or why he didn't." You don't know how you're gonna react to something.
You don't know
until
how
you actually in that situation.
Yeah, that's not for you to determine.
Yeah, I was introduced to OJ during the NBA Finals. Wow. So you didn't know who OJ was before that moment. And answer that for us out. Wow, that is. But there's different people with different generations. But there are people holding up signs They on the overpass. They standing in front of his house. I mean, it was like he was running for a touchdown. This is wild.
Man, look, man, at the end of the day, this dude, OJ Simpson was, I'm trying to think of a star now he would be. OJ Simpson was the white version of Deion Sanders. For real, he was the coach prime.
That's interesting.
He's
This
either
dude was the coolest dude in the world.
he's either Deion Sanders or Tom Brady.
No, I'm just saying, like, he was, you know, like Deion Sanders is the epitome of black culture.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
he got the shine, he
Right.
cool, he got the
I got the perm going. I got the S curl going on.
Right, he was,
I got the windbreak. Yeah.
OJ was the corporate version of prime.
Yeah.
You know, everybody liked him. Nice looking brother. He a Hall of Famer. When he retired, he was considered the second best running back in the history of the league. He was in the movies like Apollo 13, where they would fake the moon landing. He was in the Naked Gun. This dude, like I said, episode 1, he was on the Flintstones. He was on the Jetsons.
He's
He
everywhere,
was fine, man.
Right.
He was everywhere.
Fine.
He was everywhere.
Absolutely.
So now, man, I ain't trying to hear this, man. Look,
right.
If he did kill her, hey, they're gonna have to convince me of it. Because the cat, man, you know, Marsha Clark talking about she didn't know who he was. That's literally like somebody saying they don't know who Prime is, man.
Right.
That's
she know who the hell Prime is. And here's the weird thing about that. I would assume that somebody brought you a tape just to get you an idea and familiar who this gentleman is. Somebody brought you a VHS and say, hey, watch this so you can or get to know who he is. You done seen this Negro running through a Hertz commercial, man. Shut the hell up, man. Stop.
It would be crazy during that time. You're on the same age as him. You got
know who Marsha is? Marsha is Darcy from Married with Children.
Married with Children.
That's who the fuck Marsha Clark
She
is.
look like
she is Darcy. Marcy Darcy. That's who the fuck she is.
That's what I'm saying. Wilkes, you're killing it, man. You're killing it, man. That's what I'm saying, man. This is a witch hunt.
Right.
And I'm gonna say something at the end of the show, you know, about tomorrow's show about this. And it's gonna come off as insensitive, but I don't want it to be received as insensitive. But this is clear. This is a clear and cut case of, as Emma said, these are people who to me, this lets you know that there's a higher level of things going on. And whenever you cut the left, when you ain't supposed to cut the left, the truth comes out. It has happened to white celebrities. It has happened to black celebrities. It has happened to Latino celebrities. These is somebody pulling the strings, man, because this just does not add up.
I believe it. Here's the thing. OJ was so big. OJ's not going to tell you everybody that he's in cahoots with or who he's brushed shoulders with or who he's been to parties with or who's been there with him at parties. I think, like I said, I think OJ got to that point where he knows who is who and they know him and they're familiar with him. Hey, it's OJ. Hey, man, anything you need, man, let me know.
Yeah. And Al said I was in elementary school. I didn't compute to me that he was an NFL star. Wow. I mean, I get it. And elementary school, you're not going to know,
right?
You know, who he was. Now, so getting to the trial. So it's Marsha Clark. That's who it was all along. And then you get to the trial, and Chris Darden comes up on here like, yeah, I'm on this side too. Oh, and if you just look on each side, if you were in a judicial street fight, and it was Marsha Clark and Chris Darden on one side, and then you had Johnny Cochran and Shapiro, and they had 4 or 5 different cats.
Johnny Cochran, F.P. Bailey.
Yeah, it don't even add up. Like you wasn't even prepared.
Right.
And then you get to the jurors, and the fact that she said, I have a great relationship with black female jurors. I was like, you lying.
Excuse
me.
You
lying.
To Ben's point, you know black people. You don't have black friends. There's a difference.
It's like, there's just a way that I could relate to the black women. And then you get to this, and it's like 70% of them like, nah, we're not dealing with you.
This is the epitome of I have black friends.
It is.
Like, I know what they like.
Yeah, stop.
Yeah.
No, you know black people. You don't have black friends.
But that's the thing, man. When we talk about these issues, it is proof positive that we know everything about you and you know nothing about us.
Yeah, because you don't want to. You don't want to know.
You care not.
Another point, H-Rap. It's funny he made that comment because I saw a comment today. DL Hughley had posted something about a white challenge or something. This guy was talking, and somebody in the comments, they said, man, it's funny how we know more about them than they think they know about us, but we know them more, but we know more about them than they know about us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to. We have to.
It's survival.
Right.
And Johnny Carkin, I think this was the opening, or maybe this was one of his other trials or something, where he said, you got to be bigger, you got to be better, you got to be faster, we got to be all those things.
It was another trial. Yeah,
it was another trial. Kind of talking about how he
Geronimo Pratt trial.
Yeah, because he was like, we got to jump higher, we got to run faster. Yeah.
We got to be smarter, and we got to be all of those things. And then, when they when they say they don't want to have the word nigger or nigga or whatever which way they want to say it.
Like, stop.
It's like we hear that term all the time. And
of course, who do I hear in the back of my mind or in my head? Every time a black person says something, a white person has to go find that black person to rebuke or
Malcolm X.
Yeah. It literally, that comment is seared. That quote is like seared in my mind.
Yeah. And I'll say this in that
what are you doing?
The other OJ film with Cuba Gooding Jr., they had the person that played him was he was in This Is Us. What's that guy's name?
You talking about the brother who
Sterling? Yeah. Sterling K. Brown did. If you don't watch that for anything else, you can watch that for him, man. He did one hell of a job.
American Fiction.
Yeah.
He's in American Fiction, right? The one we just
talking about us, American Fiction.
Yeah.
Something About Us is if y'all haven't watched that, tune in to something about it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. But let's go ahead and wrap it up, man. This episode ends with the trial portion, and then I think the next episode they probably get further along into the trial. But every episode they're just building off of what they talked about in the previous episode. So they're doing a great job by Ezra. I think it's Ezra Edelman. I think is the director's name. Ezra Miller or Edelman, one or the other. But final thoughts. We'll do our mic rating after the 5th episode. I'll be reaching out to you for next week or the week after. And A-Trap, go to you first. Final thoughts.
My final thoughts are, again, man, I'm saying what I said at the top of the show. We are looking at a situation to whereas the American police system needs to be overhauled, and you see why. It is built on hatred. It is built on discrimination. It's built on oppression, and we are looking at it in real time. And look, the truly sad thing is, look, you can believe this man did this. You can swear wholeheartedly, Orenthal James Simpson destroyed this woman, right? Not a problem. My only issue is this. How is it that you see things exactly the same way you saw them 40 years ago? These are the same people that couldn't see the hate in the Rodney King violence, but you see the hate in the OJ Simpson situation.
Yeah.
Right. The maturation process has been brought to a halt.
Yeah.
So no. It's just piss poor.
Yeah. Whoops.
This is definitely one where when I was watching this, like I said, I kind of got the feeling that everybody was kind of drawing a line in the sand.
Picking
And
sides.
especially from the law enforcement, it's like, man, so I kind of got the essence of, man, it's OJ Simpson. Well, Candace Owen, you black, but you think you white, but they're not going to accept you fully. OJ, you're going to make a wrong misstep or mishap, and they're going to, some of them are ready to nail you to the cross. Oh, he thinks because here's the comment that was made in this episode. They had to make OJ black. Well, now he's one of them. What? But in OJ's head, if I can infiltrate this community and manipulate them and get them in my pocket, I can do whatever I can. I got a lot of different angles from this. And like I said, this is new for me because I didn't watch it when it first came out. But just sensing these things, it was just like, guess what? Now those that really didn't really truly accept you, they're ready to pounce and they're ready to turn on you.
Yeah.
I mean, why would they go to that much trouble of changing all the pictures in your house, OJ?
Yeah.
They really don't want you there. You've got the biggest house in Brentwood, the most well-known house. So
right by the mayor, I think they said,
yeah. So no, I think it was great. I enjoyed this episode. I'm enjoying all the episodes because this is new for me. So to Al High once again, I love to get him on the last episode because he recommended this. What better way to close it out if he can come on? But no, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. And I'll leave it at this. The last towards the end, they're working on the jurors, and obviously this is chess. And Marsha Clark and Darden were losing. They were losing from the jump.
Oh, absolutely.
She thought she could play her hand and determine, okay, I'm good with the blacks, so this is gonna work out for me. And that backfired.
Yeah.
And then you realize, like, I need a black person, and you get Darden, and then Darden tries to defend using the word nigga, and then you have you got Cochran on the other end that just basically obliterates him, and that you're losing again on that part. So it's going to be interesting with this next one as I'm watching it for the second time, but kind of rewatching it with a different perspective. So next week, episode 4 or part 4 of this, and we will be back again coming up tomorrow on the End of the Bench.
Sorry to talk this name of the show tomorrow, and as I said, it's going to be a little edgy simply because, like I said, it seems as if there's something going on that we don't know about, that we're not aware about, and it's time for us to, as a community, serve men, especially serve as the protector of our community, because you got this dude Sean Combs beating this woman like she's nothing. Yeah. And now all of a sudden people like Charlamagne the Clown and all these other dudes coming out saying how wrong he is. Don't tell me that you didn't know some of this stuff was going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, it's time for men to step up and do their thing. Otherwise, don't talk to me about this at this point. You got people like Lil Scrappy. You got all these rappers y'all talk about killing, robbing, stealing, how women are worthless. But now all of a sudden you want to step up and ride for Cassie. No, I want to hear it. I'm going to talk about that. And I'm going to talk about some other things that are getting on my nerves in regards to what's going on in the community. So, tune in tomorrow, 6 p.m. Please subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a friend to tune in.
Definitely. Queen and King, there'll be a replay episode. So we'll do a little bit of a throwback. So make sure to check that out tomorrow. That'll be at 7. The End of the Bench is at 6 Central. So check out both of those programs. So next week, part 4, we'll be back. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And go ahead and close us out, Adrian.
Y'all already know, man. It's the end of the month, and next week is my sister's birthday. So if I owe you something, I ain't got it. And if you need it, get it from God.
Him upstairs. Peace.
Y'all heard me, man.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.